Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a cold winter night here at the KB Willet Arena in Week 3 of WWSP men's ice hockey play, at least for your UW Stevens Point Pointers, where they take on the UW Stout Blue Devils. I am Jacob Spoerl, joined here to my left once again, the return of Brett McNamara. If you're watching this online, video is provided to you by Pointer Studios on YouTube, with audio provided to you by WWSP Stevens Point, your only alternative. Brett, how are the Pointers looking heading into tonight's matchup?
I mean, they're coming in at 3-4, Jacob, so on the losing end right now, but they can turn it around here tonight against UW Stout. It's going to be a tough matchup, but I think the Pointers can give it their all, and we'll see what's going to happen here.
Quick start for the Pointers as they lose the faceoff. And there's a lot of haste right now between these two teams, obviously bitter rivals throughout the conference. Stout out of Menominee, Wisconsin, after the shot is high, and there's already some chippiness off the bat, or I should say off the stick. Shot went high, it was gloved by Alex Proctor, his first save of the night. There's a little extracurricular activities. And speaking of Alex Proctor, I'm going to quickly get into tonight's starting matchup for the Pointers. Of course, number 72, tonight's goaltender, is Alex Proctor, a senior. On the defensive side of things, his defensemen are Blake Norris and Michael Eftimovsky. And on offense, you got Alec Hamady, Turner Richards, who's a freshman, as well as Gabe Randall, another freshman who scored his first goal in his collegiate career a couple weeks ago against River Falls. That was the first game of WWSP play, as the Pointers have a chance here after they won that faceoff. It's Eftimovsky. Pass back. Engelbert has his shot denied. There's a defenseman out. It's Blake Norris. Pass center ice. Back to Norris. Lost his handle of the puck as it's in front of the Stout bench.
Still playing very physical to start this one, Jacob.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at the starting roster for the Blue Devils in a moment, but Pfister has the puck for Stout. Shot goes off the pads of Proctor. In the corner of the ice, the far side corner, as it comes to the near side corner, Sinclair in for the line change for the Blue Devils. Pinned now in front of the Pointers box. Springs free on the ice, and Stout has time to attempt their next offensive maneuver. Puck was in front of the goal. Proctor went backwards as he gets back into his crease. Puck still by the corner. Now the near side corner. Point has a chance to play it out. Chmielewski lost it for the moment. Pinned against the boards. Goes past the stick of Sinclair, and here comes Chmielewski as the Blue Devils make a line change.
On that previous possession, number 3, Tristan Terrian had a great job, had a nice pass inside, but the Blue Devils couldn't get it to go. And you're going to see a lot of that tonight, Jacob, just passing it inside, trying to catch Alex Proctor off guard.
Here's Alex Johnson as the puck is behind the post. Still free, as the Pointers still have a chance at it for the moment. It's Hunter O'Brien. Cross-ice pass. There's a long shot attempt for number 11 for the Pointers. That was Cody Pisarcek. But Stout regains possession of the puck. They make a line change once more. Proctor, out of his crease to make a play at the puck.
Just bad communication right there with the Pointers.
Shot in front of the net. Proctor finally gloves it. Little hit there towards the back boards, right in front of the dog pound, the student section tonight, as we are a little over 2 minutes into this one. First period still scoreless between the Pointers and the Blue Devils.
The Pointers could have had an easy offensive possession there, right there, but Adam Reisicle tried to get it to number 12, Nico Chmielewski, but Chmielewski just was not ready for it. I don't know if there's bad communication there between the two Pointers, but they got to fix that early here. I know it's the start of the game. This is where you're going to fix things, but it's got to start early if you want to be able to beat Stout.
In the face-off circle for the Pointers is number 8, Quentin Hill. But they lose that one. Pfister's got it. For the Blue Devils, had kind of a lob shot towards the net as icing is waved off as it makes its way to the corner on Stout's side of the ice. Goes past Hunter Hastings. There's a pass to his other defenseman. Now the Pointers have a chance. Caught in transition on the line change. Shot goes wide of the net. Of course, tonight's goalie for the Blue Devils is Sebastian Monaco, number 35, and a freshman. That's interesting to see there. Proctor out of his crease to make a play of the puck. Puck at center ice. And there's some slippage between fellow teammates in the middle of a line change. Hamady was entering back to the ice and tripped over, I believe, Blake Norris. Shot attempt is stopped by one of the Pointers defensemen. Stout still has the puck on the dog side of the ice. Specifically, it was Nicholas Stevens, who is one of the Blue Devils' starting forwards tonight. Oh man, the puck just hits the press box. Right under me, it goes off the corner of the glass in front of Stout's bench, makes its way, and we almost got ourselves another souvenir.
Yes, we did, Jacob. I just want to go back to that last possession there for Stout. This defense for Stevens Point has been great so far. You can see Stout trying to gain an offensive position over there. It's just not working out for them. So that's one of the things the Pointers coming into this one had to pick up, because, I mean, you're coming in at 3 and 4, so you got to fix the defensive side of things in order to get those wins, because that's where it's coming to cost you.
Face-off violation for Nicholas Peugeot, as Stout wins the face-off there. Almost a poke check, which ends up working in the Pointers' favor. It's cleared. It was a shot towards the net. Nice save there, Proctor, as the Pointers from behind the net. Puck goes past center ice. Monaco out of his net to make out of his crease to make a play of that behind the net. We're about 4 minutes into this one, still scoreless. Here comes the Blue Devils. It was a missed exchange. Shot goes wide of the net. It was by way of number 19, Arhip Sidorovich.
Nice handoff there to Norris.
Pointers trying to set this one up from behind, and it is denied by Monaco. That was a great setup for the Pointers. And Peugeot's got it for the Blue Devils for now. Shot just off the pads of Proctor.
And Gino Colangelo on that last possession just missed the freshman. Turner Richards would have had a nice goal there, but unfortunately the Pointers couldn't get to go, and now they'll have to reset here on offense.
Yes, Owen D now on the ice for the Pointers, as he's behind the net right now. Made a play the puck, trying to keep it alive for the Pointers. Attempted pass to O'Brien. Does not go its way. And now O'Brien had the puck for the moment. Engelbert had it. Colangelo, pass, attempt, off the pads! And the second attempt is wide again. Colangelo had another chance at it. Puck goes past O'Brien towards the Pointers' net as the Blue Devils make a line change, and so do the Pointers again.
And you see that all the time in basketball. You get a missed shot, you put it right back in, and right there, Colangelo had a chance to do that, but just couldn't put it through, and a nice save there from the goalie, Monaco.
And that was number 22 for the Pointers, Hunter O'Brien, trying to get out of there as a whistle is blown.
And the grittiness is there.
There's a lot of shoving and nudging after the whistles, in between the whistles, I should say.
I mean, back at home, it's been a week since your last home game. You want to see this fire and presence from Stevens Point so far, and right now they're doing it, Jacob.
It's been over a week, almost two exactly, I should say, since they played their last home matchup, which was their first game in conference play against River Falls. They took that one 4-1. That was their first home victory. The following day, that Saturday, they took on UW Superior, who, of course, won the conference last year. As the shot goes wide, we'll talk about that story in a moment. We're going to talk about the play on the ice. Shot again, high of the net. In the corner, it's Mosier, Aiden Mosier.
That's one of the things the Pointers talked about going into this one, was trying to get inside to a different Pointer to get a goal.
Alex Johnson keeps it against the glass. Now Mosier's got it. Fakes a move, but his pass goes behind. I believe that was Joseph Manning. And that was a botched attempt to try to keep him alive on offense. The Blue Devils are getting exhausted, and because of that, they're able to make a line change. The puck is still on Stout's side of the ice. There's a lot of slipperiness, a lot of tripping is the more formal way to say it. As now the puck is on the Pointer side of the ice once again as Proctor prepares. Puck on the near side boards, taking it past center ice. Icing waved off, goes past the corner, now on the near side corner, setting it up for Stocks. Bunting keeps it alive for the moment.
The Pointers just do not give up when they have a turnover on the Stout side. They just keep on fighting for it, and then they get right back on defense. That's great to see that.
Puck went past Quentin Hill. It was Hayden Stocks, one of tonight's starting forwards for the Blue Devils. Another attempt. Oh, my goodness.
Very close to a goal there for Stout. They just missed it by a couple seconds.
That one goes way high, and there's a tackle. It looked like Proctor was pulled down. Wow.
That looks like the inner Joe Behrens of Alex Proctor there playing some inside linebacker. Wow.
It was specifically number 17 for the Blue Devils, Nicholas Stevens, who got in that contact with Proctor as he heads back to his bench. We're going to have a face-off here on the near side of the Pointer side of the ice. And it looked like for the moment the Pointers took it. Stout still trying to keep it on the Pointer side of the ice. It remains unsuccessful. But look at this. Pass was intercepted. That was number 19, Arep Sidorovich.
This defense for Point has been great so far. They're just all over this rink, and it's helping them. And right here
look
again.
At this. O'Brien and Richards in on the mix as the shot goes wide of the net. Monaco was ready. Now it's in front. Another chance. It slipped off the stick. And here comes Stout.
And the freshman Richards just missed a goal there. Tried to loop it back around, but couldn't do so. But just again, the Pointers.
Look at this. Breakaway. Shot. Oh, it went around. He hesitated. But now Stout has a chance as it's poked away by the Pointers. Nice play.
And Quinton Hill is coming up shaking after that goal attempt. Over down at the ice on the left side on that Stout.
He was coming to the far side on seemingly a breakaway opportunity. He pump faked, decided to go around behind the net to try to get it into the other corner, but it seemed like he slipped just based off the way how the shot attempt looked really kind of slow.
Yeah.
And the puck traveled very slowly off his stick. We're going to hope he's okay.
He had a 2-on-1 fast break, but just decided to take it all the way and then try to go loop it around, but just didn't work out. But the Pointers just so far, I mean, you saw it right there from Hill, just the fight they have in this game so far. I don't know what they talked about in the locker room beforehand, but this looks like a completely different Pointers game from the last time I broadcast the game, which was the first game, our home game of the season against St. Norbert, where it was just a tough blow for them, and then now it just looks like a completely different team. So,
yeah, I mean, Quinton Hill is a long tenured member of this Pointers program. He's in his senior year as he is helped up, grabbing his left side by his rib cage. And he is in pain, folks, but glad to see he's back up on his skates, heading his way to the Pointers side of the bench. And I also want to give some credit to Aiden Mosier, who poked away what could have been a breakaway opportunity for Stout after that missed shot from Quinton Hill. So nice defense there from Aiden Mosier, the sophomore out of Bismarck, North Dakota. And now as we reset here, folks, we are almost halfway through this first period, still scoreless. Aftomovsky tries to win it for the Pointers, but for now, Stout will take it. Goes past Brisbane. Colangelo got his stick on the puck, but it just goes back to the Stout defenseman, Gunnar Moore.
And I think the Blue Devils just need to be a little bit more patient when it comes to offense.
Oh, what a pump fake.
I feel like they're forcing a lot of things, and it's just helping Stevens Point even more on defense.
We also got to talk about how successful these Blue Devils have been. They're 4-2 of the year. They're currently 1-1 in conference. They blew the doors off of Beloit, the new WIAC member. Oh, no. Another shot attempt for the Pointers, but the puck just went off the stick. I believe that was off of Joseph Manning's stick, as each team makes a line change, and icing is called for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Proctor, wanted that icing call. Gives them a little bit more of a reset, helps goalies out a lot when it comes to, icing. So it goes all the way down to that Stout side, where Stout's defense, they've let up a lot of stuff. And, I'm going to be honest, they're a little bit lucky. I feel like there could have been easily a couple chances where the Pointers could have put a couple in, and this could easily be a 1 or 2-0 hockey game. But right now, Stout is just playing on luck.
Alex Johnson wins the faceoff for the Pointers. Morris tries to keep the puck in play as it's now at center ice. Kemilevsky's got it. They're trying to catch the Blue Devils in transition, but it's poked away. Nice defense there. Puck still on Stout's side of the ice in the corner.
And that's what I've been talking about. Just the Pointers do not quit when it comes to the puck on Stout's side.
And here comes Stout. Icing is waved off immediately. That was Evan Vandenhuven who was possessing the puck.
Stout just needs to reset here and figure out something. They got to get something going offensively.
Proctor out of his crease to make a play of the puck. was dangerous for the moment. Nice pressure applied there by Stout, but the puck slips away, and here comes the Pointers. Pass center ice into Blue Devils territory. Pass to Chmielewski, shot wide of the net.
Here's another chance, though.
There is, incoming, shot attempt just off the pads of Monaco.
What a pass from Ryan Hintz inside to Pasarchek. He just couldn't get it done.
Puck still alive for these Pointers. It's Raegan, pass over, trying to set it up, shot off the post.
Something's got to fall here eventually, Jacob. They're setting it up.
Here's Chmielewski who's got the puck on the near side of the ice. Pass, shot from Raegan, wide of the net. Puck still behind the net, now to the corner.
Raegan really wanted that one-timer right there.
Adam Raegan again, passes it back, shot, just goes wide. That was by way of Quentin Hill, who's back in this game. Raegan to Quentin Hill again, wide of the net. Oh, missed pass, trying to hit Nico Chmielewski as we get a stoppage. Big hit on the boards against Jake McAlpine. There's still some chippiness, but that was brought to you by Gabe Randall, the freshman.
And Raegan wanted a little bit of, he wanted a little bit more. That's all I'm going to say. After that shot attempt, they're fighting. They really are, as we have our first media timeout. But just what fight the Pointers are putting in this one so far. I'm loving it so far, Jacob. They're keeping a lot of pressure on Stout. You can see the stamina just start to go down and down and down. And it almost, I was just going to mention during that, it almost looked like a power play for Stevens Point. For the amount of shots they were getting, for the amount of great passes they were having inside, it looked beautiful. As
they're going to call this a penalty against number 8 for the Blue Devils. That is McCabe Drovak, who's a junior out of St. Louis Park, Minnesota. And that's big because obviously the Pointers were quite successful on the power play. Of the 2 times they were on it, they scored against River Falls. And I really quickly want to talk about these 2 team seasons so far. Obviously, you might be confused looking here on the broadcast. Point has already played 7 games, however, Stout has only played 6, which is funny because if you look on their roster, they actually played 2 extra exhibition matches in mid to late October, but again, those were exhibition matches. They've played back-to-back conference games like the Pointers. Like I said, blew the doors off of Beloit, winning 8-3, but their last game before Thanksgiving break was a big loss against conference opponent UW-Eau Claire. Meanwhile, the Pointers obviously beat River Falls. That was the last game that we were at. They won 4-1, but then went on the road next day, losing to UW Superior 2-4. This is both teams' first back since Thanksgiving break.
And this is where the Pointers need to take advantage. You saw it all the time. And while the Blue Devils are short-handed, I want to see the Pointers just keep on putting the pressure and trying to put one in the net.
On the power play, here comes Aftimovsky, backing up, hitting the brakes for the moment. Got the puck out. Pointers have a chance here. Behind the net. Goes out in front. O'Brien keeps it in play. Look out for Engelbert. They might set it up for him. Instead, it's on the short side of the net. Goes wide of Chmielewski. Engelbert's patrolling the puck. Here's O'Brien. Pass finds its way. Little lob attempt out in front. Missed for now. Still just in front of the net, but that'll be lobbed over. And Stout will make a line change. The penalty kill unit working so far as we are about halfway through this power play.
Proctor got in a little bit of trouble there. I mean, the penalty kill unit trying to put something on the board themselves. And why not, Jacob?
45 seconds left in the power play for these Pointers.
Looking a little sloppy now, Stevens Point is. I mean, you would think they would come really together in this power play. They just haven't done so. I mean, we've got 30 seconds left, so we'll see what they can do here.
Under 8 minutes to go in the first period. Under 30 seconds to go on the power play. Here comes Quentin Hill for the Pointers. Colangelo's out in front of the net.
Hill just saves it. They got a good chance here.
Here's Alex Johnson. Shot towards the net. Goes up in front of Quentin Hill. He couldn't get it in there. Colangelo lost the puck for the moment. Here comes Radovan on the near side boards. Only 7 seconds left in this power play. And what a job by the Blue Devils. As time expires on the power play, the Blue Devils are back to full strength. And here comes Stout with haste. Going around. Shot is good! The Blue Devils strike first.
And they set that one up perfectly. Number 23, Adrian Staniak, right in the middle. What an easy goal. Can't get any easier than that, and it's not Proctor's fault. I mean, it was just all the way on the left, set him up perfectly, right back inside, just never had time to adjust. And that's beautiful hockey right there.
Yeah, I mean,
Stout.
You could see right from the moment the power play ended for the Pointers, Stout was coming in hot. Stevens Point wasn't ready, especially defensively. Obviously, Proctor bid on that first attempt. The pass was wide. He had no defenseman for assistance. So now Stout is finally up the board as they're up 1-0 on these Pointers. Obviously, this is a 3-period hockey game. We're only in the first. Stout's got another chance to score. Nice poke check by number 21 for the Pointers, Michael Eftimovsky. He came in there, knocked the puck loose.
And then that momentum really came from that penalty kill unit. I mean, it really brought it to that offense where it's like, hey, these guys are fighting for us. Let's fight for them on offense. And right there, finally, Stout puts it together.
And honestly, it just, as of these last couple minutes or so, looks like Stout is out-physicaling their opponent. Oh! And I just jinxed it as Richards laid the hit on the near side boards as Stout makes a line change. Proctor out of his crease to make a play at that. As we are just about 6.5 minutes through the first period. Icing waved off. Here's Sean Bunting in the corner. Keeps it behind Stout's net on their side of the ice. Here's Aiden Mosier trying to set something up. Just goes long and off the pads of Monaco. There's a little shoving as it looks like number 10, Hayden Stocks for Stout. Wasn't sure if he had the puck or not. I think it hit his skates first, but they're still on the offense. Shot goes just wide of the near side post of the Pointers net. Stout still has a chance, but there's some slippage. That looks like it could have been tripping, but there'll be nothing for it. Here comes the Pointers. It's Aiden Mosier trying to set it up. Shot in front. What a save there by Sebastian Monaco. Quick movement, but Mosier's got the puck again, trying to set it up for the Pointer offense, but it was intercepted by Nicholas Stevens.
And the Pointers, they just came out with so much fire in that first 5-10 minutes, and now just the last 5 have just been just not where you want it to be. I mean, you would think that the Pointers would eventually put one on the board during that power play. They ended up not doing that, and now just the passes are getting really sloppy. They're not using their teammates as much. I mean, you saw it right there from Mosier taking a wide shot. Pointers
win the faceoff. Adam Racigal, pass on the near side. Shot in front, goes wide. Pisarcek set it up for Kemelevsky. Where was the puck? It's in the near side corner. Racigal's got the puck again. Cross ice pass. Finds its way. It's O'Brien trying to set it up. Pass goes back to Racigal. Little pump fake. Gives it to Kemelevsky. Cross pass to O'Brien. Shot is just short of the net. Puck is up in the air and goes out of play. Stops the clock with 5:03 left in this first period. Stout up 1-0 over Stevens Point.
This defense for Stout has been magnificent so far, Jacob. They are moving all around. It feels like the Pointers are kind of sticking to the left side of this half for Stout. I mean, once they get to that right side, they just adjust so perfectly where they can't get anything to go. There's no open shots at all for Stevens Point.
Johnson and Pajot and on the face-off, but Stout won it. Tried to get something there, but good defense from Hunter O'Brien for these Pointers. And here comes the Pointers with haste. Past center ice. 4:45 left to go in the first period. Good defense here again from Stout. O'Brien has the puck again for the Pointers. Backwards pass, sets it up. Here's Kemelevsky looking for Pisarcek, wanting to take it himself. He still has the puck. That is Gino Colangelo at the near side corner. It's Pisarcek still at the corner. Pass to Norris. Shot went wide of the near side of the net as there's some hand fighting right now. Norris again, pinned to the near side of the boards. Puck goes off the shoe of Theron. Norris has it out in front, but no Pointers are there, and they're forced to make a line change. 4 minutes to go. There was a lot of relentlessness, but Stout's defense is proving to be superior right now.
They've really stepped it up in the last few minutes here, Jacob. The defense has really taken over this game for Stout.
Stout trying to score another one to try to make it a 2-possession game as the puck is pinned on the near side. Now slipping out. Poked up in the air. Little spin there from Gino Colangelo. Puck makes its way back to the near side corner as Stout can now make a line change. 3.5 minutes to go in the first period. Pointers back in the offense. Oh, big pin on the near side boards. A little slip there. Here's Aiden Mosier. Shot is blocked by this Stout defense. And now they take over the puck past the blue line, temporarily poked away as Owen Dean heads off. And in comes Richards. Turner Richards, the freshman.
Nice glove save there from Proctor. But I just want to go back to the last few defensive possessions for Stout. I mean, they are just poking everything out of the way. It feels like the Pointers are playing a little too loose when it comes to stick handling, and I just feel like they need to fix that a little bit. A little bit of critiques could go a long way, Mr. Spoerl.
Yes, absolutely. I think this offense isn't really getting them much, and obviously their defense failed them one time. Stout scoring that goal, but there's been a lot of scoring opportunities for these Pointers. How many wipes out? And now Stout, that is, takes back over possession of the puck as it's still at center ice. There's a little booty shove as the Pointers have the puck again. Ooh, nice move there. That's Mosier, a little backwards pass, trying to set it up. Shot goes just off the pads of Monaco.
What a night Monaco's having so far.
That was Gabe Randall trying to get that off, who scored his first goal of his collegiate career since he is a freshman. He did that against River Falls, but now here comes Stout by way of Stocks. Past center ice, past the blue line, into the Pointers side of the ice. Proctor out of his crease to make a play at it.
And there's the defense finally showing up for a point. They realize Alex Proctor's in trouble. They step up and they take a hit. Great job there from that Stevens Point defensive unit.
As that was a long-awaited and possibly late whistle for that icing called, as they're going to face off here in the far side face-off circle. On the Pointer side of the ice, clock stops with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Each team so far, at least recorded here in-house at the Willet, has 8 shots on goal. Stout up 1-0 over the Pointers. Stout wins the face-off. Shot just out in front of the net. Went wide. Proctor tried to make a glove save. Here's another shot attempt for Stout, but it's poked away by the Pointers. That was Gabe Randall. Or sorry, that was number 26, Owen Dean. Oh, great effort there defensively by Alec Hamady. Stout still has the puck, but this is much improved defense this last minute or so for these Pointers. Shot goes off the butt of a Pointer. It was number 11 for Stevens Point, Nico Kemilevsky. Pisarcek had the puck. Joseph Manning with the shot. Just goes off the post. Under a minute and a half here. Pointers applying the pressure, but the pass goes way wide of Ryan Hintz.
And just the sloppiness.
Hold on, they might catch him in transition, Brett. Offside's waved off for the Pointers. Shot. Oh, man, just went off the skate of Monaco. He was pinned in between him and Gunnar Moore, the captain for the Blue Devils.
Got to go inside here.
Going inside. Waited for it, coming around. And it was off the post. Good defense again here from Stout. Under a minute and counting. Now under 50 seconds. Puck still behind the Blue Devils side of the net. Off the post again. Relentless defense from UW Stout as the puck's at center ice. But Point could catch him in transition again. It's Alex Johnson. And the shot goes way wide of the net.
And they're just gassed, Jacob. They really are.
Yes, they are. Cody Pisarcek just had a lame duck shot towards the net. It just went in the general area as we get a stoppage of play here.
And they're there, Jacob. They really are. I mean, they are probably a couple inches from tying this one up. That barely hit the post. My goodness, wow.
Yeah. That whole last minute and a half or so was all just teasing. The Pointers could have scored possibly 3 times, but there will be a penalty called once again on UW Stout. It's against number 15 on the Blue Devils, and that is Evan Vandenhuven.
And this will carry into that second period.
That is if, obviously, Point doesn't take advantage within these next 26 seconds. But if they do not, the power play will carry into period number 2. Again, there's 26.2 seconds left on the clock. 2 minutes of the power play starts now.
And that first penalty kill unit, that first time there was a power play for Stevens Point, really stepped up, which ended up leading to a goal after it ended. So we'll see if the Pointers can capitalize here.
12 seconds. This will be the one chance for the Pointers. Pass out behind, in front, shot, in front of the net. Where's the puck? Now it's behind to the side, only 2 seconds left in the inning, and the shot is missed. It just went off the stick of Owen Dean, and because he couldn't get a handle on it, time expires for period number 1. The Blue Devils up 1-0 over the Pointers. Both teams right now about middle of the road in the conference. Obviously, we're only a third through this play. We'll come back into period number 2, point on the power play for another minute and 33 seconds. Oh my goodness, what a first period, Brett.
Yeah, you said it, Jacob. I mean, the defenses for both squads have really stepped up. I know the Pointers gave up 1 goal, but from the start all the way to the end, both teams were just fighting for their lives. I mean, all over the ice, just the relentlessness, like you mentioned before, is just no quit in either of the squads. So you love to see that out of the teams. Now offensively, both teams, I mean, besides the 1 goal for Stout, I feel like a lot of sloppiness between the two teams. Some things you want to fix. I mean, stick handling has been the greatest. Passing could be worked on a bit, so I want to see a little bit better of that going forward. But other than that, I mean, a great first period between both squads.
Absolutely. It's gonna pick up here in the second period. You know, I've talked about it with you in private, but I'll say it here on the broadcast. Both the last 2 games have been periods played, or at least the game has been played its best in the second and third. So the first isn't really where it shows, it's just how it starts. But it's how each team finishes. So that'll be all from us for the next about 10 minutes or so. We'll be back here at intermission for period number 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second period of play between your UW Stevens Point Pointers against the UW Stout Blue Devils. We're currently there up 1-0. However, the Pointers are back on the power play. It's the second time they're on a power play. They specifically have 1:33 left to go. With that, they couldn't score on the first one. And I'm Jacob Spoerl, joined here to my left, Brett McNamara again. If you're watching this online, video is provided to you by Pointer Studios on YouTube, with audio provided by WWSP Stevens Point, your only alternative. Brett, you kind of want to give us a quick recap of what happened here in that first period?
Yeah, I can go over some stuff here. I kind of want to go over to that defensive side for both teams, kind of like what I ended in that first half. Both teams played great defense. I know it's 1-0 Stout, but the defense for both teams has been pretty much 100% from both squads. I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing. They're all around that ice, being physical, getting poke checks in there. So great job from Stout and Stevens Point. Then offensively, both teams, I mean, they're playing a little bit of sloppy. The passes haven't been where the teams want them to be, so I want to see that a little bit changed. But going over to some stats, Sebastian Monaco, 14 saves.
Yeah, what a game he's been having.
Yes, the freshman is playing out of his mind. There's a reason he's starting as a freshman. So a great job there from the Blue Devils goalie. Then over on the Stevens Point side, Alex Proctor has 11 saves. Of course, that one goal he allowed to, I believe,
that goal was allowed to Adrian Satsanak.
Satsanak, yes. So going over through that, Proctor, he's been playing great so far, and he's got to rely on his defense a little bit more to step in. So I want to see the defense, realize that Proctor's in trouble and help him out a bit. But we got 21 more minutes here in this second period. We got a lot more hockey to play, Jacob.
Yes, we do. And, of course, this is the infamous second period for the KB Willet Arena. If folks do not know, the away team moves their away goalie to the Pointers side of the ice, or sorry, not the Pointers side of the ice, but where the Pointers student section is, the dog pound as we call them, where they're known to scream at and harass opposing goalies. So that's going to be maybe a factor for this one against away goalie Sebastian Monaco, as the Pointers have the puck. Owen Dean's got it. Pass back, send it up for O'Brien on the far side. A lot of passing right now. Interesting to see that. Currently with it, it was Hunter O'Brien. Out in front of the net. Now it's behind. You can hear the fans chanting to put it in. Good defense there from Stout, which we saw a lot of great defense that was last 5 minutes from UW Stout. We mentioned it. Point had 2 power play opportunities with the end of that first period, with only 45 seconds left, carried into this one. Point still trying to take advantage as one of them slips and falls down. That was Nico Kemilevsky. Good defense here for Stout. But the Pointers had a chance. The pass just went in front of the stick of Owen Dean.
And one thing I want to point out here that the Pointers haven't been really doing well is their offensive presence inside.
And look at this. Alex Johnson put it up in the air and put it down for a moment. That was not a great decision by Stout. Point still has the puck, and there's only about 10 seconds left in this power play. If they don't score here, they will be 0 for 2 on power plays today. Very uncharacteristic of this Pointer squad. One of them wipes out.
Have a penalty, yep.
And it might be tripping.
Yep, the headlines judge will call that one. Pretty easy call there for the referees. Easy call. Number 18, Noah Tyrell, will go to the box, and another power play. So actually
we're going to get 1 full second of a
5-on-3.
Of a 5-on-3 power play. Of course, number 15 for UW Stout will come right back into the game right now.
And here's a good shot attempt here for the Pointers.
Still a power play for the Pointers. Nice defense there again from Sebastian Monaco. What a game the freshman has been having out of Caledon, Ontario. And man, another botched shot attempt. And that's happened a lot tonight for the Pointers.
And this is exactly what we were kind of talking about during intermission. Me and Jacob had a little conversation. During the power play, it almost seems like the Pointers have played down to themselves when they're when it's full strength for both teams. So you got to capitalize when Stout is shorthanded, and the Pointers just have not done that quite yet.
You can see some visible frustration out of Alex Proctor when the puck was on his side of the ice as a stick went flying up in the air. It almost touched the ceiling. Oh, my goodness. Pointers still have the puck.
Oh, they called the whistle, but the puck's still loose.
And here we go. We got a wipeout and a little shove. And this extracurricular activity has been happening the entire game. Both teams to start out early in the first period were fast, aggressive, and were playing a little after the whistle. However, that aggression, I should say, maintained with Stout, but didn't with the Pointers. But they've brought back full energy here to start this second period.
And you even saw the frustration from Cody Pisarcek, He slammed his stick down as we are going to get another penalty on Stout. So the Pointers will have over 3 minutes of power play opportunity to put something in the net.
And I cannot believe it. There has been 3 penalties called in about 6 minutes of durated play. So now we got a new one on number 13, Tyler Pfister. And it's going to be 5-on-3 action for the Pointers for a full 69 seconds. Here's Owen Dean. Pointers have to score now.
It has to be now, Jacob, or I don't see the Pointers making a comeback at all.
There's Kamilevsky. Back to O'Brien. Shot.
One-timer!
Good! Oh my goodness, it was a snipe for Nico Kamilevsky.
Nico Kamilevsky with the one-timer. My goodness. You said it correctly. He absolutely sniped that back of the net. And the goalie, Sebastian Monaco, had no chance.
It goes into the top right corner of the net. Pinpoint accuracy. You saw him do the bow and arrow celebration. What a shot. Ties this game up, and the Pointers are still on the power play with 1:40 to go. They have a chance to take a quick lead. This would be insane.
And Kamilevsky with the assassination. I love that. My goodness. Pointers needed that one. They tie up the game, and here they come once again.
And it was about to be, I believe, Kamilevsky again out in front. O'Brien just goes off the stick as it's now at center ice. They had a chance there. Still have just over 70 seconds left in this power play. And it's getting louder here in the Willet. Cross ice pass. Shot. Great defense by Stout. A diving save from Felix Cadeau-Fadet. There's O'Brien again in front of the blue line. Out in front.
You can see the Pointers are trying to break that zone defense, go inside and get a goal. And right there, the Stout Blue Devils do it again. Nice defense.
Hinch just got it too far out in front. There's another slip. And here comes Stout. O'Brien there to stop the progression. Dean gives it back to O'Brien. There's only 30 seconds left of this power play for the Pointers, but here they come. Quentin Hill just off the stick was poked away as it's waving to the corner. Proctor out of his crease to make a play at it, and the Pointers only have about 13 seconds left on this power play. Can they score again? We're about to find out. Puck out in front, just goes wide of the post. 5 seconds left in this power play, and we get a stoppage of play with only 3 seconds left in the power play.
And there's another penalty, Jacob. I believe it's on Stout as well.
Oh my goodness. Absolute sloppy play from these Blue Devils.
They're going to call a cross-check here. I'm not sure if it was on the Blue Devils or Stevens Point. The official ruling, I think it's going to be on the Blue Devils here. And it will be another power play opportunity for Stevens Point. And sure enough, there he goes.
Goodness.
Back to the jail cell.
Back to the box. We are going to get 3 seconds of 5-on-3 action again. And this one is going to be called against number 26 for the Blue Devils, Will Sinclair, who has not played a ton on the ice tonight. Back-to-back-to-back penalties in this period, and they already had one at the end of the first. 5-on-3 again is stopped. Shot goes wide. Pointers still have, oh my goodness, a huge wipeout. The new player that came in, it was Tyler Pfister coming back, took out one of the refs. I'm not sure if we even caught that on the camera. Hintz just off the pad of Monaco. This has been an incredibly eventful first 5 minutes.
He's sitting on Hill. My goodness, another
shot. just goes wide. I cannot believe what's been happening these first 5 minutes. We are tied here. Pointer's got a minute 24 in the power play. Shot goes just high of the net and out of play as we get a stoppage. And, of course, we get some chippiness.
And a souvenir for a fan. Wow.
And you just gotta, I mean, if you're Stout, you gotta take a break. I understand the physicality and playing a little bit after the whistle. That's acceptable in a physical sport like hockey. However, they are costing themselves right now. These back-to-back-to-back penalties. And honestly, I'm not surprised that the Pointers haven't scored another time, but they still have another minute 21 on this power play to score again and take their first lead of this one.
And this is absolute insanity, Jacob. I mean, it feels so physical out there on the ice that I want to get a little something in there, Jacob.
Puck travels to the Pointer side of the ice. Alex Proctor out of his crease. Had some heavy pressure applied by the Stout power kill unit. Good defense here as Stout plays it back into the Pointer side of the ice. And now the Blue Devils are showing some aggression. Can the Pointers match it? Just 1 minute left on this power play. It has, I mean, I can't remember the last time. The Blue Devils have not been at full strength this entire 5.5 minutes of this second period that's been played. Here comes the Pointers. It goes off the skate of Owen Dean as it's in the near side corner. 40 seconds left of the power play. It's Owen Dean who's got it again. Back to O'Brien, trying to set it up. Shot is good! Hunter O'Brien!
No, it was tapped in.
Oh my goodness, a tap in. It was an assist from O'Brien. And Tyler Pfister.
Oh, excuse me. No, that was for Stevens Point. Sean Bunting taps it in. The long tenured Pointer. And now Stevens Point is in front. And somehow, some way, they prevail. You saw it coming eventually. It was going to happen. The amount of power plays Stevens Point had, it had to happen. It finally has. O'Brien with the slap shot inside, went off the pad, and Bunting was right up there to clean up his mess. What a beautiful job by Stevens Point as they take a 2-1 lead here in the second period.
You knew it was going to happen, as now here comes the Blue Devils. Come with haste. Shot goes just high of the net. Proctor was way out in front. He just had to hop in the air to try to stop that one. Puck still out in front, and it's saved by Proctor as he flashes the leather.
And we're talking about the Blue Devils' full strength. I got to talk about Alex Proctor. He's got to be 100% right now. He's had nothing over on that side besides right there, and that's 7 minutes into the period.
Yeah, with these first 7 minutes, I doubt Proctor's even broken a sweat, as now we got about 13 minutes and 48 seconds left in this one. Of course, I talked about how Monaco would be terrorized by the student section, and he has, after allowing his first 2 goals of the night in these last couple of minutes, as we get a face-off violation there by Quentin Hill. Stout wins the face-off. Oh my goodness, they had a chance to score, but it slips off the stick. We've seen a lot of mistakes as we get a lot of contact there. Aiden Moser tried to spring it out. It's Pointer's defense is trying to get back on offense.
Icing's waved off.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Icing is the call. We get a temporary stoppage for now with 13 minutes and 31 seconds. Stevens Point has the lead 2-1 over UW Stout.
And my goodness, the momentum has just flipped sides. I mean, it felt like Stout had it all going for them. I know they came in with a, shorthanded, but Stevens Point has really just come together here in the second period. They're looking like a much better team, completely different as well.
There's a pile right now in the faceoff circle, but Stevens Point gets it away, and here comes the Pointers. Bounced off the boards. Oh, a little wipeout. No extracurriculars there. And here comes Sticks out in front. Oh, off the pad of Proctor. Puck is still behind the Pointers' net. Stout trying to make something of it, but it's poked away. Nice defense there by Quentin Hill.
That's one thing Stout's been good at this whole game as we have a stoppage. They just have no quit. I mean, you give up 2 goals, you're up 1-0 coming into the second period. Now you're down by 1. I mean, they're playing relentless ever since giving up that second one. They are putting a lot of pressure on this defense, and this could cost Stevens Point.
And something I would like to note, this is our 3rd game that we've covered here at Willet for this season, and this is by far the most slippery the ice has seemed. It might be because each team has been a little undisciplined. This is their first game back from the break, and again, another missed shot from Stout. Right out of the faceoff as they won it Owen Dean tries to set up his Pointer teammate. Shot gets poked away by Stout. That was Felix Cadeau for that. Had a penalty earlier. Now here comes the Blue Devils again. It's Terrian. Pass was almost intercepted by the Pointers. Stout still has possession of the puck.
Great hustle there by Stevens Point, getting back on defense and forcing Stout to have an ill-advised pass.
Another shot poked away there by the Pointers. Some really good defense there from Gino Colangelo. Shot goes wide. That was attempted by Arhep Sidorovic. Sidorovic has it again, trying to get it to Boyce. It goes behind him though, and here comes the Pointers. Pass center ice. Oh, there's a little trip and a slip. I'm not sure if that was caused by one of the Blue Devil players. The fans seem to think it's so, as there's a line change for the Pointers. Stout has the puck. They're taking their time with it behind the net. As we're about 8 minutes into this second period. And just a reminder, if you are listening, audio is provided to you by WWSP Stevens Point, your only alternative, with video provided by Pointer Studios here on YouTube. Icing is waved off. Proctor out of his crease to make a play at the puck. But again, Stout has been applying pressure there all day when they've noticed Proctor come out of his crease. He does it a lot. Cross-ice pass just went off the stick of Nico Kimilevsky. Oh, man. And now here comes the Blue Devils. Coming past center ice and past the blue line. Into Pointer territory. Going around the corner. Ooh, and a quick pass from Schofield. Bounced off the corner. Pointers make a play on it. And icing is called.
Well, ever since that second goal,
man.
another big hit.
Another big hit on the boards well after the whistle.
And now coming shaking up for the Pointers is Cody Pisarcek.
Pisarcek. And that is just, that's dirty. And I get it. You're going to have aggressive play. But that was so far after the whistle. We already were looking at each other talking about our next talking points. And Pisarcek is holding his groin. And there's boos coming all across this rink.
And they are not happy. I wouldn't be happy either. It was a complete cheap shot.
And the penalties have been costing this team this entire period. They were winning this game up 1-0. Now, obviously losing 2-1. As some of the officials are having a quick discussion with Kamilevsky.
And it would have been on Felix Cadeau for debt from St. John sur Richelieu, Quebec, in Canada. And they're going to talk to him.
And they are going to say no penalty.
Wow.
Sorry, no. They're going to call this on the Pointers. I cannot believe it. They're calling this on Alex Johnson. And everyone in here is shocked.
First power play opportunity of the night for Stout, so let's see if they can capitalize like the Pointers did.
As there's a face-off violation called by Stout, and even after the whistle was blown, they had to blow it again on Peugeot because he didn't even move. Now starting on the power play for the first time today, as you mentioned, is UW Stout. Puck is behind the net. Pointers defense playing it out. A dangerous pass provided by Blake Norris as Peugeot keeps it alive for Stout. Backwards pass down the side of the rink. It's Kroon. Pass intercepted. Great job by Gabe Randall, the freshman.
Pointers trying to go for a shorthanded goal here, and they put pressure on them. So great job there from Stevens Point. So right now they're going to have a face-off on that Stout side. You're shorthanded here. You're going to have to get rid of it really quickly and head all the way back on defense. I know you can't really give up that, but something you have to do in hockey, especially when you're down one player.
We might have missed it again. The contact that happened so far after the whistle earlier that ended up becoming a Pointer penalty. We're not sure up here how that happened. Obviously, the rest of the stadium is confused. Oh, my goodness. The Pointers won the faceoff and had a chance. The shot went just wide. Great effort by Chris Engelbert. It went just wide of the near side post of Stout side of the net.
And the Pointers just do not give up. They're down one guy, and yet they are still putting the pressure on Stout. Hitting them on the boards as well, too.
On the power kill unit is the Pointers, but Stout looks like they will escape, and they do. Here's Sticks. Backwards pass to Stevens. Stevens lost the puck for the moment. Shot goes way wide and out of play as there's a stoppage of play. Clock will stop with 9:57 to go as we hit the halfway point of this game. Stout still has 54 seconds left on their first power play of the night. As incoming for the Pointers is Shaw and Bunting, Blake Norris, Michael F. Domovsky, and Gabe Randall. A complete line change.
And Proctor's got to have trust in this defensive unit. This penalty kill unit played great in that first line. Let's see if the second line can do the same.
As it looks like Quentin Hill is heading back onto the ice. It looks like it was evened up. It's still got to be a 5-on-4 as the Pointers win the faceoff. 50 seconds to go for Stout on their power play as it's pinned to the near side corner. Will the puck spring free? It did, behind the net. Nice job by this Pointers defense again, and its stick breaks in half after the pass does not work out. There's a line change for Stout. I cannot believe it.
And Bunting is playing without a stick now, so he's going to be all out to use his whole body here.
More pass to the skates of Hayden Stocks. Still looking for something. Just tries a wide shot. Goes off the one of the Pointers defensemen. And there's only 15 seconds left in the power play for Stout. This has been incredible defense by Stevens Point. 10 seconds left on the power play.
And Bunting's going to ask for a stick here. He's going to get one here and come out.
And that should do it.
Oh, no.
Even play, but they're caught in transition. Breakaway, and it's a save for Alex Proctor. That was the best chance that entire time for UW Stout to score. It was a breakaway opportunity. Proctor makes the save, and now the Pointers are back to full strength.
And he's got to give a pat on the shoulder on this defense. Alex Proctor, he's got to love his guys right now, sticking up for him.
Pass went wide of Vandenheuvel, so Proctor was able to just knock it back to the Stout side of the ice. But here comes the Blue Devils. Past the blue line, into the far side corner of the Pointers side of the ice. Proctor out of his crease again as it'll travel back to Stout side of the ice. Icing is waved off. And there's a little chippiness there as both teams make line changes. And here's another breakaway. And a great save again for Alex Proctor. He is playing his mind out this last minute.
Stepping up, Alex Proctor. You love to see it.
Oh, what a move from Hamity. Here comes the Pointers. Shot out in front of the net. Great defense by Stout.
Great job here from Stevens Point. The defense.
Schofield just goes wide of the net. Sorry to cut you off again.
You're good.
It's just a fast-paced game, Brett. Shot again is saved by Proctor. Right to the chest. More so to the stomach. And he has been on fire as we are going to take a quick media timeout. We'll get a quick stat update for the shots on goal. Obviously, Proctor's made a nice last couple of saves here. It has been a rougher outing for Stout's goalie, Sebastian Monaco, this period.
Yeah, Monaco, it feels like the puck's on his side. I mean, it feels like it's been on his side the whole period. So, I mean, a great job there from Stout, putting a little bit more pressure on the Stevens Point side and giving Monaco a little bit of a breather here. I'm sure this media timeout helps him out a lot as well. But Proctor, wow, what a great job. The senior goalie stepping up for his squad. I know he had to do it there on that power play as well for Stout. So just great presence from Alex Proctor, playing the job perfectly so far in a much better second period compared to that first, Mr. Spoerl.
Oh my goodness. It's been a flip of the script, but it's too early and it's still only a one-possession game. That's how it looked as we headed to our first intermission in between periods 1 and 2, as both teams are heading back onto the ice. And it looks like we are going to have a face-off at the far side face-off circle on the Pointer side of the ice. And in-house, we did not get updates on shot on goal, so it looks like we'll give those to you after this period. We got 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go as Stout wins the face-off circle. They're down 2-1, trying to score here. Shot out in front, and another glove save for Alex Proctor. He has been on fire.
Proctor's just been playing great so far. I mean, he's been very aware of where that puck is. I mean, you need that out of your goalie, your number one goalie. A great job there from another glove save from number 72.
And this time, The Pointers won the face-off out in front. Good stick handling there by Stout. That was number 19 for them, Arhip Sidorovic. Moore goes high to try to stop the puck midair. He did, however, the Pointers regained possession of the puck with just over 7 minutes here to go in the second period. In the near side corner, finally back on Stout's side of the ice. However, the Stout defense is relentless. Here they come, this front line back on the offense. Good stick handling there.
Great poke check
But
inside.
a great poke check, like you said. And now here comes Quentin Hill. Just trying to get a quick shot, goes off the pads, and Monaco just shakes it off to the side. This freshman very much impressed me for Stout. Their goalie, that is Sebastian Monaco, in that first period. Obviously, those goals weren't necessarily all his fault, as they were both power plays for the Pointers. Puck was out in front. Again, great defense by the UW Stout's defenseman, as it's a long shot. Stopped for the moment by Proctor as he just knocks it up into the air. He saw that Stout was trying to make a line change. That's why he didn't glove save it and have a stoppage of play. Here's Joseph Manning for the Pointers. Cross-ice pass. And it found Alex Johnson. Pass back. Shot is stopped. That was Aiden Mosier who had the puck trying to get the shot off, but it was blocked by one of the Stout defensemen. Great defense again by Stout as they're taking it past the red line and past center ice into the Pointers' side of the ice. Big pin on the boards. Behind the net.
Great move.
And great defense again. He is getting no help from his teammates. And Nicholas Stevens had nothing to go off of as the puck is still behind the Pointers' net. But it looks like the defense got it out of there.
And I respect Stevens. I mean, the grittiness is really helping Stout so far. But like you mentioned, Jacob, there's no help down
And
there.
look at this. There's a little, I don't even know what that is. They're just rolling around together on the corner. They got tangled. Their feet got tangled. And there's another shot. Little cheap shot at the end there.
And that's Stevens as well. We were just talking about him. The grittiness coming over to a little bit of toughness for the guy.
It was between Stevens and Nico Kamilevsky on the Pointers.
And they're both going to head to the penalty box, so we're going to get a little bit of 4-on-4 action.
For the first time today, this has been the game of penalties. I cannot believe it. Oh, my goodness.
We're seeing it all, Jacob. I mean, we saw 5-on-3 a few times. We've seen, regular 5-on-4, so now some 4-on-4 hockey. I mean, most notably in the NHL, when it goes to overtime, it's 3-on-3. So
we've seen 5 penalties against Stout. This will be the 6th, I believe, for Stout and the 2nd for Stevens Point. 4-on-4 action starts now. This will be a fun one. This is the first time this season, at home at least, as here comes Owen Dean for the Pointers, poked away. However, he lost his stick, and that was Makazis Bramanis on Stout.
So you're going to see both teams be a little bit more less aggressive, especially
a chest save there.
Stout,
made by Monaco.
Especially Stout, because, you're already down 2-1. If you lose one more guy, it's 4-on-3, and that could get really ugly. The defense just starts to get really more thin and thin, where eventually it's pretty easy there from there on out for Stevens Point to get another one on.
Yes, so the penalties against Nico Kamilevsky as well as Nicholas Stevens were both for roughing. So both of those players will still be out for the next minute and 40 seconds. As we got about 5 minutes to go here in period number 2. Stout has the puck as they take it to the Pointers' side of the ice. Ooh, almost tripping that could have been called, but Kroon spins out of that. There's no debate. Oh, and it just goes off the stick of Pfister. And that was a big chance for Stout as it's taken away. The Pointers have it in Stout's side of the ice on the corner. He hits the brakes. Pass back. That was Joseph Manning who had the puck as he's got it again. Going wide of the net. That was almost a kick goal.
And Norris wanted Manning inside, and unfortunately just didn't work out for Stevens Point. It was Basarchek.
There was Eftimovsky who had it, keeping it alive for the Pointers. Far side faceoff circle under a minute to go as Ryan Hintz is on the ice.
We'll see a little bit more puck movement here for Stevens Point, especially with it being 4-on-4. You're going to get a lot more spacing here.
Johnson out in front of the net. Oh, my goodness. Cody Pisarchek had a chance to get on it.
Oh,
another pass missed. That's Ryan Hintz as we got about 30 seconds left of 4-on-4 action. Good defense from Stout here as they're just going to take their time with it. Each team makes a respective line change. Less than 20 seconds left for 4-on-4. Here comes Stout.
And Bunting lost his stick again, so it's just sitting behind the
Good
net
defense.
over on Stout's side.
Stevens Point could catch them in transition, but there's a lot of pressure, and he's got to wait for his teammates. That was Sean Bunting specifically who had to wait for his teammates and who had the puck. But that is an end to 4-on-4 action as both teams are back to full strength with just over 3 minutes to go in the second period.
Just gets by a couple defenders. Proctor's got to get rid of it.
Wow.
Almost hit it.
He was way out of his crease to make a play of that one. That was dangerous.
And he kind of had to, Jacob. I mean, he was the last line of defense there. It would have been an easy 2-on-1 for the Blue Devils, but nice job there from Proctor being aware of what's going on.
Under 3 minutes to go in the second period. And here comes Stout. Pass center ice, another missed pass. Goes in front of Jake McAlpine. Puck is behind the net of Stevens Point's side of the ice. Pinned to the boards. It was stationary for the moment. As it's back, Proctor out of his crease, plays it to the near side. Boyce was out there, but his shot goes wide. Pointers regain possession of the puck as it just goes off the stick of Richards. And now UW Stout makes a line change. Under 2.5 minutes to go in the second period. Here comes the Blue Devils again. That was Therian. Puck went up in the air, lands back in the ice. Pointers trying to play it. Here's Alec Hamity. Oh my goodness, almost had the shot. It was too slow. A great pad save of the right leg of Sebastian Monaco. Stacevich, right wide of Proctor.
Slip.
It was a bit of a slip. We've seen a lot of those so far in these first two periods. Proctor out of the crease again. Under 2 minutes in this second period left. As the defenseman for Stout kind of plays with their food as they prepare for the next attempt here. Poked away twice. Great effort for the Pointers. It was Chris Engelbert. And his shot is saved by Monaco. He flashed the leather as we get a little jawing.
And Blue Devils just want to keep on going. And it gets to a point. It really does. I mean, Engelbert wasn't going for anything extracurricular there. But yet the Blue Devils right there are just chippy. And chippy and chippy and chippy, and it just keeps on happening over and over and over. And you just wonder when they're going to quit. But I mean, I guess that's just part of their personality, and I don't blame them. It could be, what their team is about.
I mean, Stout wants a victory. Their last matchup, they got whooped by Eau Claire, losing 5-1. But so do the Pointers. I mean, they lost 4-2 against Superior, who was last season's WIAC champion. Great poke check there from Sam Kroon.
And Kemalevsky was just waiting too short.
Oh my goodness, incredible defense by Alex Proctor. Another shot attempt here for Stout as there's some tumbling.
Great defense there from Ed Tomaski as well inside, playing a great defensive presence as well.
Kroon with the puck as he passes it around the corner. Great defense, a little shove there by Stout. However, Stevens Point's got it. Norris, it goes off the stick, and now Stout has it.
They got a good chance here.
Aftomovsky lays the hit. Puck on the boards. And Stevens Point's got it again. And 45 seconds left in this period.
And Ev Tomaski's been the defense for Stevens Point tonight, all over the ice, making play after play. Great job there from the kid.
Adam Racigal and Hunter O'Brien back in the ice for Stevens Point. Hunter O'Brien's been great when he has been the back line of defense when they're on the opposing side of the ice. 25 seconds left in the period. As it rides the boards, Racical's got it at center ice. Trying to keep it in play after there's a big slam on the near side of the ice. 12 seconds left. The Pointers realistically have one more attempt before the time expires. 8 seconds, and they're just going to play keep away. Racigal gets a slam after time expires in the corner as he gets a little interaction with some of the Blue Devils who laid the hit. That was Nicholas Stevens and Cullion Diakawa. But that will end the second period as we head to the intermission before period number 3. Your UW Stevens Point Pointers are up 2-1 over the UW Stout Blue Devils. What a period, Brett.
Yeah, what a period. You said it. I mean, just the fight from both of these teams. I mean, 2-1. This could easily be all in Stout's favor. It could easily be all in Stevens Point's favor, but both defenses have been playing great so far.
I mean,
And
I don't
wow,
think I've ever
especially
seen,
from Alex Proctor. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, he had himself a great period, not allowing anything. I mean, it seemed rare that the Pointers were really on defense, but when they were, I mean, Proctor made several crucial saves when he was on an island. And it's also just the inning. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off a minute ago, but it was just the period where I've seen the most penalties. Oh, my goodness. This isn't baseball. This is hockey, and that will continue.
Well, it isn't baseball, but it isn't hockey, but there's bowling going on right now.
There is bowling going on for a little intermission activity for some of these fans to witness, but they are about to witness a hopefully very competitive and fun final period. Again, it's a one-score game, 2-1. Stevens Point has the lead for now over Stout. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to period number 3 of some WIAC action between your UW-Stevens Point Pointers and the UW Stout Blue Devils, where the Pointers in the last period took a 2-1 lead after several back-to-back-to-back penalties against the Blue Devils. We had 4-on-4 action at one point. We had 5-on-3 action a couple times in a row. What an eventful second period, but as I just mentioned, Brett, the Pointers take their first lead of the night in the second period. It's all going to come down to this one, folks. Again, I am Jacob Spoerl. Joined here to my left is Brett McNamara. If you're watching this online, video is provided to you by Pointer Studios on YouTube, with audio provided to you by WWSP Stevens Point, your only alternative. Brett, just give us a quick recap of what happened in that second period.
I mean, it starts on the defensive side. Once again, Alex Proctor played absolutely out of his mind that second period. He was saving everything shot at him, and it really helped the Pointers keep that one goal for Stout. So now 2-1, Stevens Point takes the lead. We'll see if they can keep it together and force Stout to a loss. It would be back-to-back losses for UW Stout. I think they can, and I think they will. Stevens Point will get back in that win column if they played the way they did in that second period, Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the quick highlight, as you mentioned, Alex Proctor had himself a phenomenal second period, of course. But we got to talk about that non-stop offense that was provided to you by penalties. And one of the penalties actually went in Stout's favor. And that was because we were confused on the call, because it looked like it was a late hit initiated by UW Stout. There was a long conference, and the penalty went against the Pointers. But thanks to Liam Stats, who formerly had your position last year and is a Stevens Point alum, gave us a quick little update and mentioned to the fact that the penalty was most likely caused by some language after which communicated to one of the refs by the Pointers. So that's why they called it. But that doesn't matter. We are down to the final period of play here. Point wins the faceoff. And here comes Stevens Point. Hamony. And it's saved to the chest of course, Sebastian Monaco, who is having a great first period. Again, is a freshman out of Caledon, Ontario. And man, he played really great that first period. Obviously, let up 2 goals in that second, but both of those were on power plays for the Pointers, as we already have a face-off here on the near side, face-off circle on Stout's side of the ice.
And something I'm going to point out here, Stout is coming into this third period not on the power play, not on the penalty kill unit, so that's going to help them out a lot, where they're going to have a much better start to the second period over top. Wow.
Huge wipeout as Kalantayakawa get another hit. Whoa! A lot of contact. That might have been a late hit, as because there is a stoppage of play, and that's number 13, Tyler Pfister, who had a penalty of his own. He went straight down to the ice, collapsed.
Tomaski gave him a big shoulder, and I believe he's going to go to the penalty box. Yes, he will.
Yes, he will.
Much like that second period for Stevens Point, this time Stout is going to have the early start to the period.
And that would only make sense. That's been the trend of this game. The amount of penalties that, of course, have been going on. We had many, about 6 total, just in that second period by both teams. And we still don't have it officially here on the scoreboard. But, folks, the Blue Devils.
2 minutes on Tomaski.
2 minutes for Michael Eftimowski. So UW Stout is going to be on the power play. But we have to have the stoppage of play, because something is going on with the scorekeepers. They haven't updated it here at the house at KB Willet. And it's funny, because obviously every time that there will be the power play for the opposing team, you hear the song, "It Ain't My Fault." But that one, it definitely was there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a clear hit. I know Stevens Point was on defense, but, yeah, Tomaski had the puck and then just gave him a big shoulder and forced him to the penalty box.
Quick shot there, defended by the Pointers. Of course, Stout right here on the power play, as puck is pinned on the near side boards. Finally springs out. Stout setting it up. Slow shot. Stopped with ease by the Pointers as they take it out of their territory. And here comes some offense as Nico Kemilevsky hit the brakes. Uh-oh. Proctor with a little slip as he was playing it out of his crease. And the Pointers are able to make a line change as we're about a quarter through of this Stout power play. And here they come, taking it past center ice. Oh, man. Worked in between the defenders, but Proctor was there. And we get some slippage. as he falls into the net, and we have some stoppage as well. However, that was not intentional. Obviously, both teams have been very chippy, especially Stout. But Nicholas Peugeot just kind of wiped out a little bit and slipped after that one. So the clock stops with 1:15 left on the power play for UW Stout.
Yeah, Stevens Point, I mean, they're playing pretty good here on this penalty kill squad. I mean, they're really stepping up so far. We'll see if they can finish the way. About 1:15 left.
Stout won the faceoff, but the puck went just past Hayden Stocks, who is one of tonight's starters. One of tonight's starting forwards. Oh, my goodness. The puck rockets across the ice. It got to have been going at like 80 miles an hour or something.
Really nice job by Stevens Point, though, just getting out of their zone and making Stout reset. Force a lot of time off of that clock.
Moore with the puck on the far side boards. Back to Moore, trying to make something happen, back to one of his teammates. So we're about 2 minutes here into this final period. Cross-ice pass. Ooh. Slow shot, just goes off the pad of Proctor.
Proctor again.
And he makes back-to-back saves.
He's lost his stick, too, so Proctor is going to have to play a little bit of what
just playing
Manning had to do.
With a glove and pads. Set-up shot. Saved again by Proctor. That attempt was stopped by one of the defensemen. He needs a stick.
Nice slide in there.
Stout.
From Bunting, giving Proctor the stick back. Nice job there from Stevens Point.
And it's another pad save for Proctor. Puck out in front. There it is.
Oh, Proctor.
Oh, my goodness, Proctor.
He just tackled him.
Tackled him. I've never seen that. He just laid him out. Oh, no.
Wow. And Richards has been there all the time. The whole game he's been in there.
And I think.
And he must have said something to Proctor he did not like whatsoever. And I do not blame him. Stout's been doing that all game, getting in the heads of Stevens Point, saying whatever they want to say. And Proctor was just having none of that. And I honestly, I respect it. He's, wow. Just what a hit by Proctor.
Cannot believe it. I mean, that was a picture-perfect Ray Lewis linebacker hit. And you could see this UW Stout bench absolutely up in arms. And there's still a discussion, and honestly, I don't see a way where Stevens Point isn't penalized.
Well, you got to take it back to the goal. I mean, the goal scored by Stout, tying up the game. Proctor just standing there like usual, but Stout, even when they score, they're chippy. They got it in there, and they just started jawing at Proctor. Did not like it whatsoever.
I just heard a fan yell he didn't do anything. I mean, look, you're going to have chipiness. You're going to have overtly physical play.
You're good. Keep on talking.
As we're getting a call right now, still communicated between Quentin Hill, one of the leaders for this Pointer squad, and Cullen Diakawa, who was the one that was tackled by Proctor. We're still having a discussion, but Proctor's skating back to his net. And Stout is going to be penalized. It's going to be both. Both teams are going to get penalized, it seemed, right now. And it might be 4-on-4 action for the second time in this game. And Stout must have said something pretty vulgar for them to also get penalized, because it seemed for a moment it was just going to be against Stevens Point. As thank you, Brett here on color, taking the headset off, trying to stick his ear in and get some full analysis. Brett, what did he hear on there?
All right, so the way that Schrader, the headline judge, explained it is that Proctor was out of his crease, and that's Stevens was the one that kind of caused everything up. But the initial hit came from number 15 of Stevens Point, Turner Richards. So both of them are going to go into the penalty box, Richards and Stevens for Stout. And then that's what caused Proctor to come out and end up making that hit. So no penalty on Proctor. It's going to be 4-on-4 hockey.
Great explanation there, Brett. Out of the faceoff, both teams flying fast. Had a lot of time to rest there. Shot goes wide. Proctor seemingly almost made the glove save, and here come the officials skating in with haste, trying to make sure we get no extra physicality. But we talked about it at the top of the broadcast, Brett, and I don't think newcomers or other people realize how big this rivalry is between these two programs. UW Stout and UW Stevens Point, we're always playing each other towards the end of the year and specifically into the playoffs to try to take the WIAC and head into the NCAA Division III men's hockey bracket, at least in the postseason. But it's 4-on-4 action for the second time tonight. Here's Adam Raegan taking it into Stout side of the ice. We're about a quarter way into this 4-on-4 action. And there's a lot of slipping there from Raegan. Great concentration, but it's poked away finally by Sarcevic and these Blue Devils.
Yeah, the Blue Devils' defense has been pretty good so far here in this third period.
Shot goes wide of the net, specifically the near side. Proctor was ready for it. As Pfister tripped into the box during the line change, and here's Moore, and he slips while possessing the puck. And there's been a ton of slips tonight. I mean, I get it's early in the season, and usually you see, especially in Division III hockey, these teams have to adjust to the ice as there's a big slam on Ryan Hintz. That was by way of Gunnar Moore. As we are only 30 seconds left for this 4-on-4 action, will either team score? Currently, Stout has the puck, but there's some great defense there by Stevens Point as they're trying to get it out of their side of the ice, and they will. Past the blue line. Dean fakes to Engelbert. Cross-ice pass is intercepted for the moment, but the Pointers got it back. Engelbert out in front. It's played well by the Stout defense. There's only 10 seconds left of 4-on-4 action, folks. Puck out in front of the net, but it's knocked away by Monaco. And there it is. Both teams back to full strength. Oh, my goodness. That was Blake Norris, who had it out in front, just went wide of the post.
And it's going to be Bunting and Schofield out for Stevens Point and Stout coming out of that penalty box. And so 5-on-5 action. Another
wipeout by one of these Stout players. It was Makazis Bramanis. And here's Quentin Hill's got the puck as icing is waved off. And we are about 5 minutes into this third period. 15 minutes left to play as the puck is pinned in the back corner, in the near side corner, with the Blue Devil side of the ice. And now it will travel onto the Pointer side of the ice. Proctor well out of his crease, I should say, to make a play at it as he takes it behind him. And for the Pointers, Hunter O'Brien had it for the moment. Now gives it out to Hunter Hastings, who we haven't seen a ton of today. As the puck travels into Stout side of the ice, icing is waved off again. Each team makes their respective line changes. 14.5 minutes to go in this one. And that pass went off the skate, and as it kind of slowly meandered towards the goal, Proctor had to dive down quickly to make the glove save. He got it, and I think it's pretty convenient after that big hit laid out by Proctor. There hasn't been a ton of chippiness or physicality since that penalty.
Yeah, because I think the penalties are starting to rack up a little bit too much here for both teams. I mean, eventually it's going to lead to something even worse than just penalty box time.
Oh, my goodness. And there was a wipeout again by Boyce. It went off his stick just barely. Stevens Point's going to play it at center ice. There's a lot of pressure, so it's a pass backwards from Mosier. Oh, man, Alex Johnson had it for the moment. Passed it to one of his teammates. But now Stout might have a chance.
I want to see a little bit better offense here from Stevens Point. We're about 6 minutes into this period, and it feels like it's always been defense for the Pointers. So I want to see them kind of bring a little bit of a good possession here and try to get something going offensively.
Shot goes wide and up and in and out of play. Johnson was out in front of the net, too. It looked like Cody Pisarcek, who had that shot, or at least was trying to pass it to him. Didn't work out, though. And I think this is crazy. It's a tied game, so even though right now there's 13 minutes and 45 seconds left of regulation, we might take this one to overtime. We'll see, though. This is still a pretty big point in their season for both teams. Stout, of course, on the winning side of their record, 4-2 with 6 games played. Stevens Point, 3-4, losing record. Each team is 1-1 in conferences. Right now, the puck is pinned in the corner, and there's minimal movement. And it's still on the boards and finally springs free. Had about 10 full seconds of minimal movement. Norris had it out in front. Norris has the puck again. Cross-ice pass finds its way. Shot out in front. Diving save by one of the Stout defensemen as he was slow to get up. That was Sam Kroon as he hit the deck. We got about 13 minutes left in this third period. The puck straggles behind Stout's net. It's at center ice, and here comes the Blue Devils, taking it past the blue line and into Pointer territory. It's poked out. Oh my goodness, almost accidentally scored by Blake Norris. It was good perseverance and effort, I believe, by Pfister for the Blue Devils as they still have the puck at center ice. There's some more slippage.
At this point, it's just who's going to score next, who's going to have, I'm going to say, probably the game-winning goal. Whoever scores next will win this game. And it's just it feels like time is going very slowly for both squads. Just back and forth, back and forth. Who is going to give up the defensive possession first?
It's a bold statement, Brett, but it might end up coming true. As the puck is in the corner. Quick shot there, hits the post. Pointer seemingly locked in defensively. As the puck went across the ice, still on Stout's bench. It springs out, and the puck will go behind the net. Proctor out of his crease almost slid into the boards, as he kind of did accidentally. Both teams make line changes. Sinclair keeps it alive for Stout. It was Brasamis. It's out in front again. Goes way wide. Stout has another attempt here. Shot out in front of the net. And it's knocked away by some of these Pointers
job
defensemen.
by Proctor.
Great job there. Another save for Alex Proctor. And here come these Pointers. It's Quentin Hill. Hits the brakes. Pass was intercepted by Stout. But the Pointers have it back.
Just
it's Joseph Manning.
sides.
Oh no, lost the puck again. Stout makes another line change. As there's some more mishandling. Puck on the Pointer side of the ice. And on the near side of the boards. Now out in front, past the blue line. And that was Sean Bunting who had it. Oh, what a hit. Behind the net. This is on the near side. Pisarcek trying to keep it alive. And there is a very subtle glove save there for Sebastian Monaco. Oh, man, it is just back and forth hockey right now.
Wow, just craziness, Jacob. I mean, I cannot believe what I'm witnessing from both squads. The defense has been great for both teams, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. And defense wins. I mean, you say it all the time. Defense wins ball games. Defense wins hockey games. I mean, it's great to see that both squads are fighting for their lives on both ends.
It's a lot here as the puck will straggle on the Pointer side of the ice as icing is waved off at the very final moment. Puck still out in front of the net. Where is it? And it finds its way out. Great defense again for Stevens Point. Cross-ice pass almost found its way to Kemelevsky. Stout and the Pointers make a quick change. Eftimovsky is back on the ice for Stevens Point as it goes his way. Eftimovsky bounce pass. It's Cody Pisarcek who had it poked away by Moore. We were about halfway through this period 10 minutes ago in the third period. Pisarcek pinned to the boards. Sinclair passes it to one of his Stout teammates. It's Hayden Stocks. And the puck still at center ice. Pointers defensemen trying to set up their next offensive possession. And that pass just goes off the stick of Gabe Randall, the freshman, who lays the hit on the backside boards behind Stout's net. Here's Richards who had the puck, but it was poked away. It's back behind Stout's net. 9.5 minutes to go. Backwards pass to Norris. Shot just goes off the pads. What a save by Sebastian Monaco. There's a lot of contact there. Hammony has it slipped away by Stevens.
And Stout's just flying all over the place. They are not allowing Stevens Point to get anything together offensively, and it's carrying them through, making this a 2-2 game.
Puck behind Stout's net again. 9 minutes to go. Still tie game at 2 apiece. Stevens had it for a moment for Stout. Point back in the offense. Hintz faked the shot. Pass backwards Might go to Raegan. Eftimovsky gives it to Raegan. Adam Raegan works it inside. Puck out in front. Saved back-to-back times by Sebastian Monaco. Elite defense.
And Monaco going back to period number 1. A little bit of a flashback. Wow, what a job there from the goalie.
Raegan out in front. Shot just goes wide again. Has to be poked away by Monaco. Raegan's got the puck again. Shot just goes wide of the boards. Out in front. Where's the puck? Finally a glove save, and there's some punches. A couple of swings. And there's a media timeout to stop it all.
On.
Oh my goodness.
It was just getting good.
And there's still contact.
My
Look
gosh.
at this. Richards might have faked it a little bit, but there was
It's
Stevens.
It's Ben Stevens all night. He has been the enforcer, the engager, the guy that's been all over this ice, just being chippy. I mean, Proctor, he got tackled by Proctor, and he didn't care. He just keeps on going.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's bullying his way, and not necessarily all this contact is severely his fault. I will say Richards did kind of slip himself a little bit. He didn't necessarily got pulled down by Nicholas Stevens. What a game this has been, as we still have time. Specifically 8 minutes and 15 seconds left in this third and supposedly final period. But if this score remains tied, we're of course going to take this into overtime, which would be the first home overtime game of the season for Stevens Point.
The Eau Claire game.
Yeah, since the Eau Claire game. However, this season Stevens Point has been in overtime. That was specifically in their first game of the season against the University of Dubuque. And Brett, do you want to kind of give us a quick update?
Yeah, wow. I mean, the fight between both of these squads, I mean, it feels like they're fighting it for a playoff spot, and we are 4 games into the season. Excuse me, not 4. But, I mean, you get the point. 7 games into the season for Stevens Point. Just, wow, Stevens Point finally coming together offensively. They're a little bit stuttered in that first, 10 minutes of this period. But I'm glad they're finally coming together, and this is exactly when they need to come together, Jacob, because if they don't, Stout could easily walk out of here with another victory.
That would be the insane scenario, but it just might happen. Coming back from the media timeout. Tons of shots on goal so far. You see it on your screen. Stevens Point is 32. Stout is 24. Fresh shot of the face-off circle with 8 minutes to go. Stout has the puck. It was out in front of the goal. Stevens Point was kind of just meandering, letting it happen out in front of the goal again, but there's a glove save by Proctor. And there's still some physicality after the whistles.
The defense here for Stevens Point also has to step up. I mean, they're playing for their lives right now, it feels like. The way the season's been starting for the Pointers have not been great. They'd much like a win here at home and finally get back in that win column for the first time since that River Falls game.
And the puck out in front of Proctor. Has to make another save, grabbing at his face mask. And there's a huge conjoined group of both Blue Devils and Pointers out in front of the net. Proctor has to take a moment. Shaken up a little bit, but it looks like he'll be okay. We know he's a tough son of a gun, proving after he laid out a linebacker hit after a goal was scored on him. He is a tough guy. Grew up in Texas, raised in Nashville, Tennessee, and made his way all the way to central Wisconsin, specifically in Stevens Point, in his senior campaign playing for these Pointers. And out of the face-off circle, the Blue Devils take that one. Puck went just wide, went under the legs of one of the Pointers defensemen, but still missed the goal. Proctor probably was ready for it, though. Puck still on the near side board, 7.5 minutes to go. Puck out in front again, bounced down, had a chance. But this Pointer defense stands strong.
Nice job by the Pointers once again, coming close to Proctor, realizing he's in trouble. They go all around him, kind of like a barricade, and force Stout to throw up something. And it worked out perfectly for Stevens Point.
Wow, great possession there by number 18 for UW Stout. That was Noah Terrell. Puck goes out in front, though. Pointers trying to stay relentless offensively. Richards tried getting it, but now Chmielewski's got it. No, he lost it. Here comes Stout. They've got a chance. And it's a pad save for Proctor. Goes right off his right leg. Here comes Stevens Point again. It's Nico Chmielewski. Great stick handling, but finally poked out of the final second by Gunnar Moore. Stevens Point has a chance. Shot.
It's in the air.
Goes wide of the air.
And like a center, swats it out. I believe that's a penalty, though.
This might go against
Can't
Stout
do
again.
that. I don't. Maybe, I don't know, unless they just called a time there.
They might have called time.
And you saw Felix Godot-Fredette just swat it, kind of like a volleyball center just coming down to spike it home.
I think that with it being airborne and in play, that was a legal move. He was confused because he thought it was legal. But out of the face-off, the Pointers take a shot straight to the chest. And it was Owen Dean who went straight dead center, hit Sebastian Monaco's sternum. Oh my goodness. So now the clock stops with 6:29 to go. Still a tie game, folks, if you're listening on the radio. In the third and final period. And out of the face-off circle on Stout side of the ice, the Blue Devils win it. Trying to get back on the offensive side of things. Puck hitting the corner. Break slam. Proctor ready if a shot comes his way. Puck now on the near side boards on Stevens Point side of the ice. Heading towards the goal. Back to the corner. Back out in front. Nice defense here from Stevens Point as they take it past the blue line. Still in center ice. Great defense there from Stout. That was Sam Kroon who had it.
And one thing the Pointers are doing well is they're not allowing anything go towards that backside or the middle. They are forcing Stout to pass it around the outside, kind of like if there was a three-point line there in basketball. You're just kind of forcing them along that range where they're not being able to get anything going offensively.
Monaco out of his crease to play it. Stevens Point for the moment looks like they would continue the offensive pursuit, and they will. Ends up coming back in their favor as they take it past center ice. Here comes the Pointers. Oh, what a glove save by Monaco! And a bit of a late hit. But you're not going to see much. Gabe Randall was ran into. I specifically want to mention Alec Hamady coming with haste. Extremely vicious shot to Monaco, but his hands are so quick and made the glove save.
Yeah, just a reminder, you're listening to WWSP Stevens Point. But yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, Monaco, he's been playing out of his mind in this third period. I mean, right back to where that first period was. He only gave up no goals at all. In that second period, a little bit rough, but finally turning around here in the third and trying to help Stout get another victory.
As we're about 5 minutes left, still a tie game in Stevens Point. Quinton Hill had it. Going around the stick out in front. Great defense from UW Stout. One of the defensemen was slipping. Stout in the pursuit. Shot goes high and in the air. Back down to the ice to the side of the goal. Proctor playing his post. Great defense again. But Stout is going to hold on to their offensive possession. It seemed they might for the moment as their defensemen have the puck deep in their own territory. The Pointers kept it alive for the moment. But now Stout takes it past the blue line and into the Pointer side of the ice. And they make a line change. Proctor was out of his crease for the moment, but he's trusting his Pointer defense to handle this.
It feels like
shot! Oh man, had an attempt out in front. Sorry to cut you off, Brett.
You're good. I was just going to say, I feel like Stout hasn't had anything going offensively recently.
That was the closest they had.
Yes, exactly.
It was Maxis Briamanis. Got it in front. Kroon coming back to make a play. The puck, he will, but he slips. Little bit of a wipeout. So Gino Colangelo tripped over him. Shot went wide of the net. Blake Norris now has it for the Pointers, trying to set something up. Here's a little pass at the face-off circle. Hamony again. Well defended by Stout. Brennan Boyce, one of the defensemen for this Blue Devils team, put a stick right in front of the net to ensure that save. Stout makes a line change.
And that's to be offsides.
And offsides will be called against Stevens Point, specifically against Cody Pisarcek, as he's having a little discussion with one of the officials now.
Yeah, going back to that last possession, I mean, the great puck movement there from the Pointers, and Hamady was just not there at the right time. If he was there, possibly a good shot attempt, but unfortunately just a little too late there and forces another turnover by the Stout defense. So great job there from Stout being aware where the puck was, but the Pointers just got to fix a little bit of what's going on. It could work out in their favor.
Just over 3.5 minutes to go as the Pointers win the face-off at center ice. There goes a rocket going around the corners. Point has the puck. Shot out in front of Monaco. Made the save initially, but his defenseman, clean it up as it takes it back into the Pointer side of the ice. Icing is waved off. Stout makes a line change. Pfister's back in. Proctor successfully playing his post. Puck still behind the red line. Out in front again. Nice defense. Actually, I was going to say that went off the boot, or specifically off the skate of Tristan Therian, as the puck is now back on Stout's side of the ice, but the defense is going to play it out. Past the blue line. Nice little poke attempt there from Ryan Hintz. McAlpine's back in the game for UW Stout. Trying to make something happen here. Going around. Just goes out in front. And there's a battle behind the net right now. Puck slips out. It's at the corner. And played successfully by Ryan Hintz.
The defense stepping up once again for the Pointers. Really coming together in the last two periods. You'll love to see it, Jacob.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this one. Still a tie game. Puck at center ice. Pointers have possession of it for now. Past the blue line. Little hit there. Puck is back in the possession of Stout. Gunnar Moore has it. We'll just bounce it back behind the board. Oh my goodness, stolen by the Pointers. That was extremely dangerous. Risky for no reason for Stout. Chris Engelbert's got it.
Owen Dean had a great chance at a goal.
And here's Stevens.
It was too wide.
Stevens gets slammed. Maintains possession of the puck, though. Goes off the stick of Proctor. Went up in the air. Back down to the ice. It's in the far side corner of Stevens Point side of the ice. Puck up in the air again after a big hit was laid there by one of the Blue Devils. It was Nicholas Stevens, who's been a lot involved with a ton of physicality in this one. The clock stops with a minute and 37 seconds left. Oh my goodness.
And it feels like everybody's holding their breath, Jacob. I mean, from both sides, whether it's Stout or Stevens Point, we are getting down to the gritty seconds. 1:35 left. This is close.
Down to the wire. Final 2 minutes of play for now, at least in regulation. Pointers have the puck. Fans want them to score. It goes off the stick of Pfister after it was an attempted shot by Joseph Manning. It went up into the rafters and out of play, so we get another stoppage of play as the clock stops with a minute 24 to go now.
And what did I say earlier? I felt like the next goal, whoever scores it's going to win, and sure enough, I mean, we're getting down to that point where if the Pointers or Stout end up scoring within this next minute and a half, that could be it, Jacob.
It could. In the face-off circle for the Pointers is Quentin Hill, and in for Stout was Statsanak as the Pointers won the face-off, keeping this one alive. Here's Aiden Mosier's got the puck now at the blue line. Shot just goes wide off the post. There's a little slam. Puck was pinned to the boards, but now Stout's going to take it. A minute 5 to go. Good defense here from Stevens Point as it's poked away. Quentin Hill's got the puck, trying to keep it alive as he slips past the blue line. Under a minute to go, still a tie game. We might see overtime, but each team is at least going to have one possession to try to take the lead. Stout's got it with Stocks. Hayden Stocks tried to pass it.
Goodness.
Oh my goodness, it was poked out in front of his net by the Pointers. It was Sean Bunting. which slowly traveled towards Sebastian Monaco, who made the slight save, which stops the clock with 42.5 seconds left.
So if I'm the Pointers here, I'm doing a quick shot. I mean, if you win this face-off, it's got to go at the net here. This is your best opportunity to put another point in the goal. Wow, Jacob, I'm getting nervous up here in the booth for both squads.
Tie game, 42.5 seconds. Pointers win the face-off. Shot just goes wide. Sorry. Just went wide. It was Owen Dean, and it went past the near side post. Proctor out of his crease to make a play at the puck. Lands back into play, and here comes Stevens Point. 25 seconds left. Puck went out in front of the net as it's gloved and saved by Sebastian Monaco once again. And now with only 21.9 seconds left on the clock, it will come down to this. Each team brings in their final lines. For Stevens Point, it's O'Brien, Raegan, Hastings, and in on the faceoff as well is Gabe Randall.
And Engelbert.
And of course, Chris Engelbert in there. The freshman on the faceoff loses. Stout has possession of the puck. They were trying to take into Pointers territory, but it is played at center ice. 13 seconds left before we face overtime and extra hockey, but Stout has one final chance. Poked away, 4 seconds left. 1 second, near side boards, and there it is. We get extra hockey. So we will get a full overtime period, but since it is regulation, and if the score is tied within that first overtime period, I do believe it will go to a shootout scenario. We're going to double check right after that, as there's a clock running.
So there's no intermission, I don't think.
You're
I think they
not
just go
getting
right
an
into
intermission, so we will not be taking a break. Don't you leave, folks. Stay here, right here and now, as the shots on goal are being updated for each team. Stevens Point has 38 shots on goal through 3 periods in regulation, and UW Stout has 29. We have just under 2.5 minutes of this very soft intermission. Both teams are getting a lackluster amount of rest. Obviously, a full game of legitimate hockey has been played, but it doesn't mean we can't take it into overtime, as we've seen before here at the Willet. Thank you, Tim, as we get some of our stats here. I'm going to hand them to you, Brett, as you've now hopped onto the computer and will be tech directing with us for the rest of this one. Oh, my goodness. This has been an eventful game.
Yes, it has. I mean, just a great defense from both squads. I mean, really, especially after that second goal by Stout, the Pointers really turned it around. They were all over the ice, and they were motioning perfectly of where Stout was passing the puck. And like I mentioned, there was no backside to Stout's offense. It was all on that right side of Alex Proctor, where it felt like it was pass, 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 shoot. And a great job there from Stout's defense as well. I mean, the Pointers, it almost felt like a lot of their shots were these quick shots where they had to get something going, and it just never worked out in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how this ends, I'm excited. This is my first game calling where we go to overtime.
This isn't your
doing
first.
Play-by-play.
Play-by-play, that's
I've been through several overtime scenarios doing color for hockey.
We all have been. Yeah, the last time we were here during an overtime, it was that shootout loss, or the final, actually it wasn't a shootout loss, it was the overtime goal where it ended in a shootout shot.
The third overtime of the minigame. So in total, it was about 6.5 periods that played. It was so long that it entered into the next day.
And I even broadcasted for a little bit because Liam Stats lost his voice.
That's true, yeah. You can count that, because I was going to say, when have you done color in overtime? But of course, Liam Stats, who was doing play-by-play at the time, had to step out. So it's going to be 3-on-3 action. That's what we've got here. And look at this. Sebastian Monaco is back in front of the dog pound, in front of this Stevens Point home crowd, the student section.
And that's where both of his goals were gave up in that second period. So that could have an effect to the way this one ends up finishing off. But just, again, great job by both squads. The defense has really carried both of them. I know it's 2-2, But wow, what we've witnessed tonight has been greatness.
So Stevens Point decides to send out Nico Chmielewski, Gabe Randall, and Adam Raegan. UW Stout sounds up Cullen Diakawa. They also send out Nicholas Stevens, who's been involved this entire game, and Gunnar Moore. Here on the face-off, Stout wins. Do or die scenario, 5 minutes on the clock in this 3-on-3 action in overtime. Raegan has possession of the puck and is taking his time, heads behind his own net, trying to set it up, disguised by Chmielewski. But here comes Raegan. Pass to Cody Pisarcek, who's in the game now. Pisarcek heading towards the net, out behind. Might pass it to Chmielewski. It goes way wide.
And it feels so quiet in here, Jacob. I feel like everybody's just so anxious.
But you feel the intensity.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Quick line change made there by Stout as Sidorovic is in the game. Chmielewski trying to get a handle on it. And now for possession is Pisarcek, who's got the puck at center ice. We almost have 1 full minute played in this overtime period again. Tied apiece as the puck straddled towards the net, and it is saved by Sebastian Monaco, his first save in overtime. The clock stops with 4 minutes and 1 second left. Again, tied 2-2. This is a big game for both these teams. Bitter rivals within the WIAC.
But the thing I'm looking at right now is if both teams end up going, if we end up going to a shootout, then it is technically considered a tie, Mr. Spoerl. So it could have effects on the way that the standings end up, going out at the end of the season.
Yeah, so we have about 4 minutes of play before on the schedule. This will be entered as a tie. But here comes Stout. Almost a breakaway chance, just goes off the pad of Proctor. That was some great effort from Nicholas Peugeot. 3.5 minutes to go. Point standing strong on defense as they're going to try to set this next one up. Currently with the puck for UWSP is number 5, Blake Norris. Taking it past center ice into Stout territory. Has it at the corner. Pass backward off the boards. Now for Stevens Point in the game is Gabe Randall again, the freshman. As Norris almost lost it for the moment. Backpedaling behind his own net. Makes a play at the puck. Quick cut there for Sean Bunting, who's now on the ice. His shot is saved by Monaco again. Stops the clock with 2:58 to go. And there's a chance that we do see a tie on the stat sheet, but I'm not sure. Whoever wins gets 2 points, and whoever loses gets 1 point. And that's, of course, if we go into that scenario past this 5-minute overtime. If either team wins it in overtime, it is a win on their record, but if they lose, it's added on at the end. That shot goes wide of Proctor. Under 3 minutes to go, Sean Bunting has it for the Pointers. Taking it to the far side. Shot goes wide of Monaco. Stout, defenseman trying to hold on. It was Pfister. Here comes Stout. Shot just off the pad of Proctor. That was almost finished off for Stout. It's Pfister. It's a 2-on-1 though. And shot is way high than that. That was a missed opportunity for Quentin Hill. If we do go to a shootout situation, it doesn't matter, but whoever wins that shootout would get 2 points.
We appreciate Mr. Liam Stats for
helping
us out.
Can we say he's our official rules analyst?
Yes, he is our official
Kinda
rules
like
analyst.
A Gene Steratore.
We could probably send it over there to him. I always ask him for help. So thank you again, Liam Stats, for all you do.
Rules can get a little complicated at times, especially in D3 scenarios, at least in regular season territory. As we are just over 2 minutes here, Stevens Point on the defense. Stout has the puck. Taking it past center ice. Not great movement there by Sidorovic. The Pointers had a chance to maybe have a breakaway. One of the Blue Devils loses a stick. Shot attempt. Save for the moment. Puck out in front. And finally saved by Monaco. There's some extra physicality there. If anyone was to score, it looked like it would have been Stevens Point right there to take the victory We are technically a minute and 51 seconds from a tie, but that's barring if no one scores here.
And just wow, Jacob, just wow. I mean, both teams, they've been fighting all game long, trying to figure out how to put points on the board. And right there, Pointers had a really good chance.
Fresh out of the face-off. Shot just goes wide. Oh, my goodness. It was Aiden Mosier. Mosier backpedaling right now. Looking to maybe have it passed to him by Owen Dean. Owen Dean's just going to take his time with it. Now he passes it over to Mosier. A minute 30 to go. Mosier out behind the net. Going around, past the corner, pass to Owen Dean. Dean's shot gets blocked. Puck going backwards. Proctor out of his crease to make a play at it. As we get a line change, Aiden Mosier got it poked away for the moment by Noah Terrell. And we have a minute and 5 seconds left of overtime play. Once again, if the time expires and no one scores in this next minute, it is a tie on the stat sheet, but there still will be a shootout. Here's Cody Pisarcek wanting to just finish it here. Has it poked away, and now here comes the Blue Devils. They have an opportunity with 47 seconds left.
They got the numbers.
Yes, they do, but they're going to halt for the moment in this 3-on-3 action. Tyrell still has the puck at center ice.
They want the last possession, Jacob.
Yes, they do. Kroon comes in the game. Tyrell has the shot wide. 27 seconds left. Stout still has the puck at the corner.
Stevens Point's going to have one last opportunity. Let's see if they can finish it off.
And here it comes. Niko Kemelevsky had it, but it's taken away by Stout. 15 seconds left. Will they finish it? Saved temporarily by Proctor. Stevens Point only has one more chance. They won't have it. It's up to Stout.
Offside.
But it's offsides against Stout. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That is huge. Without that penalty, it was all up to Stout. It was not up to Stevens Point. There was no chance they would have regained possession of the puck with the time that they had. It was all on Stout. So now this could just end right here in a dud, or something crazy could happen. Just over 5 seconds before this is a tie in the stat books. Pointers win the faceoff. 3 seconds. Shot just goes wide in a desperation attempt, and the clock expires. So there it is on the stat sheet. This is a tie between UW Stout and UW Stevens Point, but the game isn't technically over. We are about to enter a shootout scenario.
Yes, we are. Wow. I mean, it came down to it, really did. The defenses. That is what's been the name of the game for both squads. And right there, I mean, 3-on-3 hockey, I mean, it's tough. You got to adjust. You got to figure out what you got to change offensively and defensively and how you're going to play this one. And right there, both teams played it correctly. So now we head to the shootout, where the last time we witnessed this, Mr. Spoerl, it ended not in the Pointers' way. Can the script flip, though, towards this Pointers side? I guess we'll find out.
And you mentioned that, Brett. Obviously, that shootout situation was extremely specific. It's because it was an illegal procedure by Alex Proctor, and that was in the semifinal championship game of the WIAC. And, of course, after that penalty was called, it was a one shootout scenario for UW Eau Claire. The shot was good. It was a one-on-one opportunity that for sure haunts Alex Proctor to this day, and he wants to avenge that moment. Obviously, this isn't as severe of a scenario. It is the regular season, and like I mentioned, this is going in as a tie in the stat books. But the points are just going to go it. The points will just be the differential here. Who gets more points out of this one, which could still matter later on, and it'll also matter for conference standings. You got to keep that in mind too. So Stout will get a chance first at the shootout. It's number 19, Arhip Sidorovic. In the shootout scenario against Alex Proctor. Sidorovic taking his time. Proctor readies. And he just got played. Incredible move by Sidorovic.
And Proctor's not happy with it. He feels like he did too many moves down there, which would have been too much time.
Yeah, Proctor had a little slip there. The game isn't over yet. Stevens Point has a chance here. They send out Chris Engelbert, leads the team in scoring. He's taking on Sebastian Monaco in this shootout. Engelbert. Shot gets blocked. It's not over yet. Stout gets another shootout chance. And they send out Noah Tyrell, the sophomore out of Montgomery, Illinois. He has a chance to silence this crowd and win it all. Proctor standing up, now gets ready. And it's saved by Proctor. It all comes down to this, though. To keep this alive, Stevens Point needs to make this shot.
They're going with the captain, Bunting.
They send out their team captain, Sean Bunting. Taking on Sebastian Monaco, who's in the goal right now. If he saves it, it'll be over. Bunting. Missed it.
They have a little bit more.
They do get one more attempt to finish them off. It's Cullen Diakawa. And here he comes, taking on Proctor. He's 1 for 1 right now in the shootout. And it goes in. Stevens Point takes the L, and Stout wins it in the shootout scenario. Again, it's a tie on the stat sheet, but Proctor in the shootout went 1 for 2. More so 1 for 3. 3 attempts went against him. He let 2 in. And that'll do it. In-house, the final is a victory for Stout as they take it 4-2. But again, it's a tie on the stat sheet, and that is the wildest way that game could have ended.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just disappointed. A lot of Pointers fans are. Just the way that the boys fought all night long, it felt like this was the one they're going to finally come together and get that win. And just unfortunately, it goes in the way of Stout, the shootout. But you can't take away the way the Pointers played tonight. I mean, you're down 1-0 going into that second period. You score 2, give up 1 in that third. But the fight they had, the perseverance they had, it was just immaculate. And you can't take away any of that from them tonight. But unfortunately, it goes in the way of Stout, and you got to give it to them. They really did. I mean, they played out of their minds. They won it here in the shootout. So props to them. They improved to 5-2 on the season. Pointers dropped down to 3-5. And just, wow, what a way to end it. What a great game between the two squads.
I got to give all the props in the world to Sebastian Monaco. Again, a freshman goaltender who had some of the best defense I've seen from a goalie. Again, as a freshman. New to this Stout squad as they're coming off the ice, ringing the cowbells, as they are now 2-1 in the conference and are up with a winning record now of 5-2. Stevens Point falls even further now to 3-5. A disappointing way for this one to end, but again, it'll take it to tomorrow, where Stevens Point takes on Beloit here at home, which should most likely be a victory. No offense to Beloit, but it's a brand new program, brand new team. We'll see, though. Nothing is for sure or set in stone. We thank you all for listening and tuning in and watching here. I have been Jacob Spoerl, joined here by Brett McNamara. I want to give a quick shout-out to Lexi Hall, who was doing some tech director work before she had to leave, and then, of course, Raegan VanWagner on camera. Once again, video has been provided to you by Pointer Studios here on YouTube, with audio provided by WWSP Stevens Point, your only alternative. We'll see you next week Friday, where the Pointers take on UW Eau Claire. Have a good night, everybody.